In a corner of the enchanted forest, under the canopy of whispering trees, lived two unusual friends. Max, a monkey with a knack for mischief, and Cleo, a cat with a curious spirit and a gentle heart. Max, with his twinkling eyes and quick wit, was always up to something, turning the forest into a playground of endless fun. Cleo, on the other hand, was thoughtful and kind, her soft purrs a comforting melody in the heart of the forest. Despite their differences, Max and Cleo were the best of friends. Their days were filled with laughter and shared secrets. Their bond, as strong as the tallest tree in the forest, from chasing butterflies to napping under the cool shade, they were always together, their friendship blossoming with every passing day. They were inseparable, sharing adventures and stories. And so begins our tale of Max and Cleo, two friends with a world of adventures ahead of them. From the first ray of sunlight to the glow of the moon, Max and Cleo were always up to something. As the morning sun peeked over the horizon, Max would be the first to wake, his eyes sparkling with the promise of a new day. Cleo, on the other hand, preferred a few extra moments of slumber, her whiskers twitching in the warmth of the rising sun. Once both were up and about, their day was filled with playful pursuits. They would chase butterflies in the meadow, swing from the tallest branches, and play hide and seek among the giant ferns. Sometimes they would race to the top of the highest hill, their laughter echoing through the forest. In the evenings, as the sun began to set, they would sit under the twinkling stars, sharing stories of their day. From dawn to dusk, every day was filled with joy and laughter in the enchanting world of Max and Cleo. One day, while exploring the deeper parts of the forest, Max and Cleo stumbled upon something unusual. It was a campsite left by some wandering adventurers. The fire was still crackling, painting dancing shadows on the forest floor. A delicious aroma wafted through the air, tickling their noses. Following the scent, they found the source. A few chestnuts were roasting right in the heart of the fire, their shells popping open to reveal the golden delicacies inside. Max's nostrils flared as he took in the smell, his mouth watering at the sight. He had never seen such a feast before. His little monkey heart pounded with excitement, and his eyes, oh, his eyes, they gleamed like two shiny pebbles in the moonlight. A world of possibilities opened up before him. What could these chestnuts taste like? How could he get them out of the fire? Max's eyes gleamed with curiosity. Yeah, Max, always the schemer, came up with a plan. The scent of the roasting chestnuts was filling the air, and he could hardly resist the temptation. He turned to Cleo, his eyes twinkling with mischief and excitement. "Cleo," he said with a cheeky grin, "I have an idea. Your paws are so nimble and quick. If you could just reach into the fire and grab those chestnuts, we could have a delicious feast." Max's enthusiasm was infectious, but Cleo was not so easily swayed. She looked at the fire, then back at Max, her eyes filled with caution. She knew that fire was not something to be trifled with. "Max," she replied, "that fire is hot, and I don't think it's safe." Yet, Max continued to coax her, his mind set on the chestnuts. But Cleo hesitated, sensing the danger. Despite her reservations, Cleo agreed. Friendship is about trust, after all. With a deep breath, she extended her paw towards the fiery flames, her heart pounding with every inch closer. The heat was intense, and the fire crackled angrily as she reached for the chestnuts. The sizzling chestnuts were hot, too hot. Each touch was like a jolt of lightning, a sting that made her wince. But Cleo was brave, and she persevered, trying to paw the chestnuts out one by one. Meanwhile, Max was bouncing with anticipation, his eyes fixed on the prize. He was imagining the taste of the roasted chestnuts, the crunch, the warmth. In his excitement, he overlooked the discomfort on Cleo's face, the flinch in her eyes. He was lost in his own world, oblivious to his friend's plight. Max was too caught up in the excitement to notice Cleo's discomfort. It didn't take long for Cleo to feel the pain. The warmth that was once enticing now stung her paws. And in that moment, something stirred within Max. He watched as Cleo, his best friend, nursed her tender paws. He saw the discomfort in her eyes and felt a pang of regret in his heart. In the silence of the forest, Max's thoughts echoed loudly. What have I done? He questioned himself. The fun-loving monkey, always ready for an adventure, had overlooked the consequences of his actions. He realized he had put his friend in harm's way, all for a few roasted chestnuts. His heart sank as the gravity of his mistake dawned on him. Max learned a valuable lesson that day. His actions had consequences, and those consequences affected the ones he loved. He understood the importance of thinking before acting, and with a heavy heart, he watched as Cleo nursed her paws, vowing to make things right. Max knew he had to make things right. His heart was heavy with guilt, and he realized that his curiosity had led to his best friend's discomfort. He sprang into action, his mind buzzing with ideas. The first thing he decided was to soothe Cleo's burns. He remembered seeing a plant with healing properties on their earlier escapades. Swiftly, he fetched some leaves and gently applied them on Cleo's paws. Next, he turned his attention to the chestnuts, still sizzling in the fire. He knew he couldn't ask Cleo to do it again, so he had to think of a different approach. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. What if they used sticks to roll the chestnuts out of the fire? Max quickly found a suitable stick and demonstrated his idea to Cleo. Cleo watched, her eyes shining with admiration. Together, they found a solution. Using sticks to roll the chestnuts out of the fire. With the chestnuts safely out of the fire, Max and Cleo enjoyed their feast under the starry sky. The aroma of the roasted chestnuts filled the air. Their laughter echoed through the forest, and the bond between them grew stronger with each passing moment. They had faced a challenge, learned a lesson, and come out the other side, not just unscathed, but stronger. As they munched on the chestnuts, their hearts filled with warmth, not from the fire, but from the love they had for each other. Yes, Max had made a mistake, and yes, Cleo had been hurt, but in the grand scheme of things, it was this very incident that had led them to realize the depth of their friendship. So, as they sat there under the canopy of the night, the stars twinkling above, they didn't just savor the taste of the chestnuts, but more importantly, they savored the sweetness of their friendship, now stronger and deeper.